and welcome back to the Time on Feet podcast. I'm Alyssa,
And I am the George.
and today we are talking about running shoes. We are tech heads, I will have to say, and today we're talking about running shoes. What actually matters? So, we've come to the conclusion picking a shoe that works for you is really the only thing that matters. But before we talk about that, let's do a quick check-in.
At the end of the day.
So, how's it going? He takes a drink.
I think I always start with a drink.
Do you?
I wet
It's like your thing?
I wet my whistle.
You wet your whistle.
My whistle. Makes
Oh.
me sound. It makes me blow. Better pop.
Yeah. Wetting your whistle makes you pop.
Whistle.
That's an interesting. Moving on. How was your day?
My day was good.
That's
It's
good.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling tired. My voice is squeaking. We usually shoot these at night, hey? These podcasts.
Yeah, we do.
For those of
Foolish.
you listening, we probably always say we're tired. I know I always say I'm tired because I am always tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired when I wake up. I'm tired when I go to bed. I'm tired in all the hours in between them.
Whether it be night or day.
I'm always tired.
You're a tired guy.
But I'm good. Like I'm good tired.
Oh,
Maybe I
good.
have sleep apnea. Do I snore?
Yeah, you do.
Really?
Yeah. Next
Oh.
episode, we're going to have a snore expert on. Surprise.
I thought those nose strips would have fixed that.
No, when you're really tired, you do.
Do I?
It's like a freight train in there. It's a
Really?
rumbling.
You've not said anything. You're
No.
a good person.
I know. I don't want to shame. I don't snore shame people.
Thank you. Not shame. It's a health consideration. Maybe I have sleep apnea.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm choking.
You seem to be
I'm
breathing.
literally choking to death, and you're not telling me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm doing my marathon in a few days.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so how do you feel about that? That's huge.
And again, all of you listening, you're going to hear this after I have crushed my Woody's RV marathon.
Or it maybe crushed you.
I'll do a race. We'll do a race recap next week.
Yeah.
And we'll put that out kind of right after.
Yeah.
But this one, you're not probably going to get till June.
Yeah.
So I'll have ran the race, but do know that I'm only a few days out right now. So I'm tired. Taper week.
Yeah.
Which I consider the last couple months a taper month. taper week.
You have to start training to have a taper.
Yeah.
Taper week.
That makes sense.
That checks out.
That checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling pretty good. A few days out, my legs they're tuckered, but it's been a rough week. No sleep this week. It's been a tough week for us for sleep. So that makes it a little psychologically, it kind of puts you off a bit where you're like, well, I don't feel very optimized.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, you might find this a little crazy, folks, but it's May long weekend coming up.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be not nice. Go figure.
Shocking.
Like snow.
Yeah.
Welcome to Canada. So I'll likely be running a marathon in 0 degrees or colder weather. We have extreme wind warnings right now. There's a tree outside our house blew over. So that's it plays with your brain a little bit, but ultimately I feel okay. I'm not too nervous about that. Life's been busy, but yeah, ready to rock. How are you, my sweetie?
Good. Yeah, you got a big road race. Your first road marathon, maybe.
My first and last.
Maybe your only.
Oh,
I could see that being the reality is you just do the one just to say you did it, right? One and done.
Or use that reverse psychology? Are you trying to
focus
me into
maybe. I didn't know if you'd fall in love with running to begin with. One day we'll tell our story, but I definitely you started running for me, I think, and to do something with me. And I thought, oh, this guy's going to run for a couple months and then he's going to be done.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier that you love it. That might be a strong word, but especially trail running. But anyways, I'm excited for you in your marathon, so it'll be good. But I'm good. My marathon's next, the weekend after yours. I'm definitely feeling actually pretty fresh. Yeah. So I've been having some food intolerance issues. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been having some food intolerance kind of issues. I've been trying to see if it's supplements or what it is and taking out certain things and stuff out of my diet. So that's a bit of a pain, but yeah, feeling a little bit fresh, ready to go, crush our goals. So that being said, one of the big things that we've talked about a lot lately, and one of the topics of a lot of our conversations actually, which we really have fun with, is running shoes.
Yeah.
What actually matters in a shoe. We're talking both road and trail shoes. I think we'll focus a little bit more on the trail shoes
sure.
today. Yeah. But I'll speak to the road shoes a little bit because I've had more experience with some different ones. But really picking a shoe, we've come to the conclusion at the end of the day, because we have read reviews and we have looked online, like in countless different reviews of different shoes. And honestly, picking a shoe that works for you is really the only thing that actually matters. So
Yeah.
first, let's go to chat a little bit about like the different categories of shoes. So we just said like broad spectrum trail and road shoes.
Right.
But you were saying that when you kind of came into the running scene, you didn't really know that there was so many shoes, different shoes for different things.
I've learned so much.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's great to learn, but it's expensive to learn when we're talking shoes.
Yeah.
And this kind of stems from what Alyssa's saying, is that of late it's been top of mind because for myself and for you, we've been looking for a better fit for our feet. Me specifically for trail, and you've been looking for some road ones to kind of grow into. And it's hard. Like, it's a journey.
Yeah.
And kind of like when you're Googling like symptoms of an illness, if you start Googling what shoe's best for me, oh man, it opens
totally
up, the whole internet will
Pandora's box.
Yeah, will kind of present itself to you. So that's why I think we've concluded, end of the day, it's you need to find a fit, a shoe, a product that works really well for you.
Yeah.
But we wanted to kind of break that down to a few segments for you folks and highlight some of the things that we have learned along the way that we think are important as an entry level runner, brand new novice runner, beginner, intermediate, expert. I think it's applicable to all of those categorical running, archetypes and starts. And I think it's one of those things that if you don't look into it a bit, you'll regret it. And I can speak from experience because I ran on these cinder block shoes for a while, and it was it was so bad.
They were like $40 Reeboks.
Yeah, I think they were 50.
Oh, sorry, $49.95.
They're bricks, and I don't know how much they weigh, but they weigh a lot.
Yeah.
They're like a construction boot. And
Steel toe.
Oh man, why is running so
unpleasant?
Unpleasant. Well, it's so fun at all. But
yeah,
the second I threw on a pair of good running shoes, actual running shoes, which by sheer luck, I bought the Adidas Evo SLs.
Yeah.
And I've been wearing those for about a year, a little under a year on the road, and they're fantastic. And I think widely viewed as a great everyday runner.
But that's a good point, is that the category of shoe you didn't really realize. So what you had picked up and what you were previously running in was this $50 training shoe, essentially. Right. So it's just a shoe that you're going to wear walking around or while you're weight training at the gym.
Yep.
It's really not a running shoe.
No.
And then you pick up an actual road running shoe built for road running, and suddenly your road running experience changed.
Yeah. So I think the category, and that's the first thing we're going to touch on, is I would say it's vitally important.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's the lowest rung on the pyramid.
Yeah.
If you're looking at building your house on sand or on concrete foundation, this is kind of how you can think of that, or the food pyramid, which got shifted. I don't even know what that is anymore, but for us, it's chocolate as a base.
Yeah.
Everything else comes second.
Yeah.
So for me, I just thought a runner was a runner. And then as I started to kind of get into that sphere and learn a little bit more about shoe, you start to realize, well, no, that's not just the case. Some shoes are actually created and built for certain things.
Yes.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I got a running shoe, the aforementioned Adidas, and I'm like, okay, this is the shoe. And then I find out shortly thereafter, well, actually there's super shoes.
There's better shoes.
Yeah, there's better shoes. There's, a slew of different categories. And why we wanted to highlight that is because you're going to have a heck of a time if you go out and you buy a super shoe and you just want to wear it on everyday casual runs, because it's not made for that.
Yeah.
And the same can be said of your everyday runner, not being meant for actual marathon racing, though it could suffice.
Yeah.
Tempo shoes, which
Yes.
definitely will not feel good over the course of a road marathon.
Yeah.
Getting into trails, a lot of the brands kind of offer an entry level, a mid level, and a high level, or a race day shoe. But again, the same thing there, depending on the construction of the shoe, it might have a different intention. Maybe it's a shoe that's meant to log major miles. It's a very durable shoe that is built for long distance trail ultras, like 100-kilometer races, 100-mile races, 200-milers. Or maybe it's just a shoe built for shorter durations, the 5 to 10 to 20K super light, agile shoe, kind of like this Norda 005 that I brought here to talk tech specs with afterward. But those are things that I had no idea. And this is a great example. We both bought these shoes thinking these were the supreme shoe on the market. They may be. I think they're often referred to as the pound for pound best trail shoe out there, which because they're really light. So I think a lot of people like to say that, but they're definitely, for me, not the best shoe over super long distances.
Well, when you're talking category of shoes, you mentioned shorter distances and longer distances for trail, but we also have technical trail shoes.
Yeah.
So technical running shoes or technical trail means like trails with a lot of roots, rocks, water, mud, like those sorts of things. So basically what we're running here in Alberta in the Rocky Mountains are quite technical trails. So there's trail shoes that are meant for that technicality.
Yeah.
And there's trail shoes that are not, that are meant for more like packed down kind of gravel, maybe a little bit of screet, but not really like technical.
Yeah.
There's also gravel shoes. There's a hybrid shoe.
It's true. Road to gravel, road to trail.
Yeah.
That's kind of a marketing a shoe that's been marketed well of late.
Yeah.
For those of you who follow competitive running, Cocodona 250 was just this last week.
Yeah.
And a lot of athletes were wearing the Mount to Coast H1, which is a hybrid a road to trail shoe.
Yeah.
But
not meant for any technicality, right?
Not meant by their own omission. I believe they recommend a 70-30 sort of road to gravel split. It's kind of more of a gravel shoe.
Yeah.
But a lot of athletes chose to wear that shoe given the terrain that they were racing on. A lot of elevation, but nothing super, super technical. They required a different type of shoe, a more durable shoe with maybe a more aggressive outsole and such.
Exactly. And then when you look at the categories for road running, like you said, you did talk about tempo and you talked about shorter runs. There's also the longer distance and more the endurance running, but there's also the shoes that have the nylon plates, the carbon plates built within them. And those are all with different purposes and different intents, right? So intentions. So the carbon plated race shoes are often meant for races. So they are like almost a one and done. They're not built for durability in any sense, but they're built for a very quick, fast, speedy run, right? So this is what we mean when we talk about the category. You really have to kind of know what category of shoe you're looking at and what the intent is going to be.
That's right. Yeah. Before you get looking, you kind of need to nail that piece.
Yeah.
There are some that are kind of like a crossover, a cross trainer type shoe that you can get away with. And certainly if you're looking at lower distances with your running, whether it be road or trail, there's probably an entry level, a mid level, a high level shoe that would suffice for that distance. It's really about what you're aiming to do with the shoe. And of course, there's shoes. You can own a whack of them. I mean, we have
a whack
the
of
shoe
them
collection now, but that's because
we have a whack.
We find a need and a purpose for them. And but again, if you're honing in on something, if you're just like, I'm going to rock 10Ks this year, that's great to know. So bring that into a reputable company or do your due diligence online and find out what kind of shoe would work best for that.
Yeah.
Right. And depending on the kind of athlete you are, and I think we'll get into that, the tech specs next.
Yeah.
That can play into it too. But first and foremost, know what you want to do.
Exactly.
And that's going to help you make a decision on what kind of shoe you're after.
Yeah. What are your specific shoe needs?
Totally.
Because it does make a big difference. And you hear sometimes the opposite where people will say you don't need a certain shoe, just put on a shoe and run. And that's how I spent the first several years of my running career. But having done that, and like you ran in $50 shoes, it really does matter to get a shoe that's specific to what you're doing, right? So
I think for enjoyment,
yeah,
you can do
exactly.
things with not great
With
footwear.
nothing. Yeah.
It's probably not that fun.
Yeah.
It definitely won't be over time. You're going to want something that's appropriate.
Totally. Yeah. So that being said, you did bring your Norda out. Let's talk a little bit about shoe specs and shoe composition and like what that exactly
Sure.
means. Like we talk about toe stack heights, there's heel drops, there's lug heights. When I first came kind of into the running picture and especially into the trail world, I was like, I don't know what any of these things mean.
Yeah.
And more recently, maybe you too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think when you're getting going, you don't really know what to look for.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things that you kind of have to learn as you go.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have really any bearing on what you need until you try, until you're out there doing a thing. I think road's easier because you're on a road.
Yeah.
It's flat. When we talk tech specs and shoe specs, I'm going to focus more, and I know we're nerding out on this a little bit here today, but for us, these things are getting more important. I think the longer we do it, it does make a difference. So we want to give you that information so that maybe if you're in the market for an upgrade on your shoe wear, you have that. It's just something in your back pocket where you go, oh yeah, I remember George Delissa talking about that. So maybe that'll pop up in my mind. But,
we can only hope.
Yeah. So for me, it's one of the two things that I think is, well, one of the three things. The first thing, of course, we'll reiterate, you need to find something that feels good for you.
Yeah.
And then secondly, the category. And then third, I think you need to do a little due diligence on the spec of the shoe. So what we'll do is we'll pull this Norda up here so that you guys can see it. And I'm going to go over kind of the biggest things that you'll hear or that you'll see marketed on any footwear website.
Yeah.
They're standard specs that are listed all the time, even if you're at Sport Check or any private company that does sell trail or road shoes. They always have a spec sheet or a tech spec sheet listed. It's there. You can find it. It's a click away. A lot of people don't know what that is.
Yes.
They click on it, go, well, I mean, I don't know.
None of this means anything.
It means nothing to me. But it will mean something to you if you want to spend some time in the sport. So the stack height, let's start with that. So that's something that you're going to see right away. So that's basically the sole of the shoe, and that's comprised of the heel and the forefoot here. So when you're looking at trail and road, you can get quite the variety on the stack height, and that it ranges. I mean, we typically see in the trail space anything from like a 28 millimeter heel, which is the back part of the shoe, all the way up to like a 44 or 43. I think the Terex Agravic Speed Ultra is running like a 43. The Ultra 2 it's running a 43 or 44. And the forefoot, you're going to get, again, a broad range, kind of paralleling the height differential with the back.
Yeah.
The next piece that I'll talk to, because it kind of aligns with this, is the heel to toe drop. So that is the angle, I suppose, or the drop from the heel down to the toe.
Yeah.
And you can get a range. You get zero drop shoes that are flat. So you're running a flat soled shoe. And then you can get shoes that are, 9, 10. I believe they go even higher than that in the road domain.
Yeah.
Like up to a 12 millimeter heel to toe drop. And that, for some runners like myself, can make an enormous difference. So I've had Achilles issues. I've ruptured an Achilles. I have like an Achilles tendinopathy on the go on my good side now. So what I find is that a larger heel to toe drop for me takes a lot of the load off of my Achilles. Mm-hmm. And that is hugely beneficial when you're logging the kind of mileage that we're logging day in and day out. That repetitive stress is it's compensated for with that one metric within the shoe. The next thing we'll look at is the upper, so the top part of the shoe. up here. I don't know if I'm showing this like a Vanna White, if you can even see that, but for those of you watching, I am holding this up, and for those of you listening, I have a Norda 005 in my hand here. So the top of the shoe, this can be all over the map, but we're talking, when you hear upper, we're talking the top part of the shoe. This is a Dynama upper. It's the material, but there's all sorts of materials out there.
All
I
over
mean,
the place,
I won't even list them. Why that matters, though, is breathability, fit.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll see on these shoe reviews that, the upper is loose, wide, tight.
Yeah.
And that's referring to this top portion of the shoe. So if you're looking for a snug fit, you're probably going to want something with kind of a snug upper. And you want something that's breathable, then you'll be looking for a breathable mesh upper. Gore-Tex is another shoe component that we sometimes seek out in trail specifically. I myself,
those tend to not be breathable.
Not so breathable, waterproof.
Yeah.
I've moved away from that. I find that they run pretty hot.
Yeah.
And it's just not a super good fit for me. You have laces. These are all different tongues. These can be completely different. The other big one I wanted to point out, and one that's often on a tech spec sheet, is the outsole. So the outer, so they call it, and that's kind of the bottom of the shoe. And that, again, the composition is all over the place. There's some really cool stuff being produced right now in the shoe industry. And I think the technology is just so cool because you're getting so much action out of these shoes, so much flex and responsiveness out of the shoes. But the sole and the lugs on the sole are something you're going to read more about. This is a Vibram sole. It's a super grippy sole. When I started in, I could care less what anything was made out of. It could have been cardboard. If it looked cool, I'm in. Now I care quite a bit, and having a grippy sole like the Vibram company makes can make a huge difference on wet terrain.
It's made a big difference for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then these little critters at the bottom here are what they refer to as the lug.
Yeah.
And I think this is a 3 mil lug on the Norda. I could have that wrong. My apologies if I do. But that's something that you're going to see again on the tech spec sheets. And you go, what difference does that make? Well, it can make a big difference, or it can make no difference at all. But if you're running really chewed up terrain, mucky terrain, dirty terrain, and you have, a 2 mil lug and a not so grippy outer, you're going to notice it because you're going to be slipping all over the place. If you're running with a good quality shoe, with this, a high traction outsole here, and it's some good lugs, you're probably going to bite into that terrain well, and it will make a difference for you while you're out there. So those are kind of the things we wanted to highlight. Not that you need to be super familiar with all of it. It's overwhelming. If you go out there and you start going in, doing a deep dive like I've done, you're probably going to feel a little bit lost. So trial and error is big. The really unfortunate part, like let's just call it the shit part about the shoe industry, is like you can't return these things. Once you buy them, they're yours. If you wear them outside, they're not going back to the store. So before you go and spend $330 on a shoe, do a bit of due diligence. Check out the tech specs. See what that means to you, right? If you lose track of that and you go, oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Stick it in Google. See what that means. Put it in some AI engine. It'll tell you.
Yeah.
Or just tune into your local podcasters and we'll help you out.
We'll tell you. No, that was a great kind of recap of, or overview, I guess, of just some of the important things that it really shows. There's also, like you said, all sorts of things that you're welcome. That was, I learned a lot. But there's things
blacked out. I don't even know what I said. Crazy.
It was good. But I mean, there's things even like the weight of the shoe and the arch of the shoe. And I mean, we could get into the nitty gritty and be here for 2 hours talking about it, but there's lots of different things to look at, and just note that those things do and can matter, right? If you have a high arch, if you have more of a neutral
I didn't
foot.
mention weight. Weight's another one you're going to find on all the tech sheets. I don't think the weight matters that much myself, though you do notice it. This is a very, very light shoe.
You notice that.
And I think over a long distance run, you probably would notice it a little bit, but most of the shoes are kind of coming in around the same weight. They're not that far off.
Yeah, exactly. And also, really what we've learned is, and like you kind of mentioned it, or alluded to the fact that the coolest shoes aren't always the best.
Yeah.
And so you do really have to do your research and look at some of those specs, right? And see what really works for you. And yeah, do your due diligence and research it. You are very good at that. You'll research stuff for both of us, right? Because you really kind of get into that, which I love because you really look at all the things that matter. So what does matter and what doesn't matter when it comes to a shoe? So we kind of talked about, the specs and that sort of thing and the different categories of shoes, but like, what do you think really matters when you're looking for a shoe?
Just to kind of wrap it all up in a pretty little package for you folks, we wanted to talk about a few things that we think don't matter that much, and then ultimately we'll wrap it up with what does matter. And I think for me, one of the things that doesn't matter at all is brand.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are brand diehards. They run Nike or they run Adidas or they run Puma or they run something, and that's it forever.
I can fall into that category for sure. And honestly, we get influenced, right?
Yeah.
You go online and a perfect example is the Cocodona 250-mile race that just occurred, and there was a course record broken. It was very exciting to watch. And what was one of the first things that we did was look up the top shoes, right? And so, or we see people wearing certain brands because they're sponsored by certain brands.
Yeah.
And we really want to get attached to those brands and be diehard and continue to wear those brands, right?
Kind of.
By we, I mean me.
Yeah, mostly you.
Mainly me.
I think there's sometimes it's enlightening too. You go, oh, if everybody's wearing that shoe, how come I'm not wearing that shoe? So I think yes, that does happen. And sometimes a brand makes an absolute banger of a shoe.
Totally.
And probably everybody should buy that shoe.
Yeah.
It's that great. But
you're right. You can't only look at the brand.
Don't bank on brands. Yeah. And I mean, to everyone's frustration, sometimes there's a fantastic product made and then they come up with a new edition. It sucks. Or it just fits differently.
Yes.
And now you can't even wear the thing. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's my take home there.
Yeah.
If it did, then you'd see people, rocking the same shoe forever and always. But they changed all the products all the time. They get new design teams in there all the time, new marketing strategies, they upsell, whatever it might be. That's their business. They need to sell shoes. You need to try shoes. You need to wear shoes that work for you.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you need to necessarily stick with the same brand. Now, if you're a sponsored athlete and you're getting paid, great, different story. But for those of us, I think you need to seek out what's accessible to you.
Yeah.
And then I think what brand it is secondary to that. You need to make sure it checks all the other boxes that we talked about. It's the right kind of shoe for what you want to do.
Yeah.
The specs make sense for your body. And then kind of the brand afterward. Exactly. So that's the first. The second thing for me, this one's kind of it doesn't matter and it does matter, and that's price. So I say that in the sense that you don't have to have the most expensive shoe for it to be the best shoe for you. That Adidas Evo SL is like $180, that shoe.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Not the most expensive shoe. But for me, it works fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'll wear that shoe till it's completely gone. It's just great.
Till the day I die.
It's so comfortable. It's probably the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn for running.
Yeah.
Period. And it's not a super shoe.
Yeah.
You have, tell us about your experience with the super shoe.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you with the price doesn't. And like you said, does. Like we did start the podcast talking about your $50 shoes. And so to a certain extent, price does matter, but it doesn't matter as much as you would think. So I thought for a couple years about buying the newest Nike Super Shoe. So for those of you who don't know, a Super Shoe is just basically the elite version, the highest rung, top of the line shoe for a certain brand.
Right.
So most often these are shoes worn to Boston Marathon or to some of the big road marathons that, people promote, that really do have technology in them that can make you go faster. So that is kind of what a super shoe is. And I saved up and really wanted these Nike Alpha Flies. And the big super shoes, they look ridiculous. And they make you go faster just the way that they're set up. And the plate in them, lots of energy return, that sort of thing. I bought those puppies, and as pretty as they are, for one thing, they are not built to last. So they're like paper thin. But it was actually, I did training runs and I did a marathon in those, and they did not work they caused me a lot of pain. So they were definitely, the way that I run, and the way that my stride is, they propelled me forward too much, and it was all hamstring strain. And I could not run in those shoes. And I spent a couple years thinking about them, finally pulled the plunge. They were hundreds of $400 shoes, very, very expensive. So very disappointing, but a really perfect example of me probably not doing enough of my due diligence to see if those shoes would work for me and my stride specifically, but also just.
Well, they were the shit. You were caught
I
up
know.
no, it's the best shit, period.
Yeah.
But it's not the best shit for everyone.
No.
Case in point.
Exactly. Yeah. They are like the best of the best, and they just did not work for me. So that's a great example. But shoes that I wear now are $200 less, and I love them so much more, right?
Yeah, and that's when I say price does not matter. It could be that is the best shoe for you, but you can't afford it.
Yeah.
So then price does matter because it's not accessible to you. But there's probably something in your price bracket, and maybe your price bracket is like $100, like the kind of the entry level. And that's okay, because there's really good products out there where you can run a road marathon in, where you could use as your everyday runner. And in the trail world, I ran on $150, not even, a pair of Sauconys last year, and they actually they held up.
They were amazing.
I miled them out last year. The outsole started cracking and breaking down, but they were wonderful for a person learning the sport.
Yeah,
they were a great shoe to cut a bunch of miles in and learn. And for me, they were comfy until they weren't comfy.
Yeah,
and now that I'm putting on more miles, you do look at different products. So again, the cost can matter if it's a barrier to entry for you.
Yeah.
But don't think that the most expensive shoe out there is going to be the best shoe for you.
Yeah.
These are a great example. These Nordas are like $330.
Yeah.
They're pretty much as expensive as any trail shoe you can find. I like them. They're fun. And I just found out not long ago that these really aren't built for super long distances. They're built for kind of shorter efforts. Caveat being, some athletes do run very long distances in this shoe, and they like that, and it works for them. But it's not a max stack heel cushion. It's not a max stack shoe by any stretch. It's a very agile, very nimble, very fun and soft shoe to run in. But for me, after about 10, 15K in the shoe, there's a lot of heel slippage in here, and it starts to aggravate my Achilles and kind of rub on my heels. So for me, it's not a good fit.
Yeah.
And further to that, for the intended purpose, it's really not the right shoe for most people by and far.
Yeah.
So I've procured a couple new shoes that should be coming in this weekend, hopefully, that are both of them are over $100 cheaper each than this shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that those shoes will be a better fit for me. So the price point can matter. It doesn't need to matter. I don't think you should base your decision based on the price of a shoe or the marketing strategy behind a shoe.
Totally. And to be honest too, like when we talk about branding too and price, we do have to give a shout out to Saucony Canada, because we've both had shoes that we've busted holes through them, or they've kind of fallen apart. And mine did it quite early. Just recently, I had a pair of road shoes that I busted a hole through.
Yeah.
And they sent me a brand new pair. And so they stand behind their product.
Yeah.
They weren't the most expensive shoes on the market, but they were a great shoe. And a little bit cheaper, but really, really good company to.
Yeah, that would be the caveat
with.
I would make to the brand not mattering.
Yeah.
I only say that it shouldn't matter in terms of what you pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your fit.
Yeah.
I think you should pick and procure and buy things from companies that stand by their product.
Yeah.
And yeah, Saucony was good. I mean, my shoes were
no questions
kinda
asked, really.
toes were peeling. No
Yeah.
questions asked. They sent me a brand new pair, so
Yeah.
that's great. They stand by their product, and then I was happy with what I had after that. So
Yeah.
it worked out well. So let's wrap it up. The last thing is what does matter, and what does matter most, I think, is that we find a shoe that fits and works.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah. The takeaway is run in what feels good. So
Yeah.
we've been saying this too, and I don't know if you heard it somewhere, if you just said it, but
Right.
to run in a shoe and not think about your shoe is literally the goal.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. There could be nothing better
Yeah.
than having something on your feet that you're not even thinking about.
Yeah.
That means it's working.
Yeah. You're not feeling the hot spots, the blistering, discomfort in any way. Then you know that you found a really good shoe and a winner for your run. So get to know what your foot needs. Get to know how you run, what
Try
your
out your friends'
stride's like.
shoes. If you have friends in the sport,
Yeah.
and you're looking and they have a shelf full of shoes, shout out Blaze. Go over there, try on some shoes, see if they fit.
Yeah, George did that recently. Went over to the man cave and tried on some shoes.
I did indeed.
Which is a funny thing for men to do, but it was it was I'm just jealous.
Yeah.
If there's any girl caves with shoes. But yeah, no, you have to know what your size is and what feels good and what your foot needs, and run in what feels good for you, because we're all a little bit different.
That's right. Read up. And that's a good and bad thing. But I think if you take some of the tips we've given you here, use that as a starting spot, get out there, read up, try shoes on. I would, if you can get to a store that has the shoe, I would recommend that. I have been going back and forth with an excellent company, Ski Uphill and Canmore, with some shoes. But if it sucks, I hate doing the online returning, waiting, and taking things to Canada Post. Big thumbs down Canada Post, thumbs up Ski Uphill. But it's it's one of those things. If you can try it on, go try it on in store.
Yeah.
Run around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us as we nerded out on shoes. It really does matter. And we, like I said, we could talk about this subject and lots of stuff in the tech space.
Yeah, we hope to bring in some more stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Until then, subscribe to our pod.
Yeah.
Give us a listen.
Follow.
Put some stuff in the comments too if you're a shoe tech nerd.
Yeah.
Tell us what you like.
Let us know what works for you.
Tips. Because we're still learning, and I'm finding that out recently.
Yeah.
We're still learning a lot about the gear that we use out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So throw something in the comments.